I personally used back to basic strategies with my daughter starting when she was 2. And the way that I would do it is, I'll never forget, she was sitting on her high chair, having her breakfast. And I remember it was a Tuesday or Thursday. I was on a part-time leave. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I was home with her. She was eating her breakfast. One of the neighbor girls, a 9-year-old Jackie, had come over to play with her, to read with her, because my daughter's an only child. The hour was up and Jackie went home and my daughter was beside herself. So she picked up her cereal bowl and threw it on the ground. And I was like, whoa. But the first thing I said to her, fortunately, because I was home, I mean, my job was just to be there for her. And I was so grateful to be there for her. So I looked her in her big, brown, beautiful eyeballs and I said, Pally, I get it. You're upset. You enjoy playing with Jackie. You love it when she comes over. And when she leaves, you're heartbroken. I get it. You get to feel that way. I understand. But in our family, no matter how angry we are, we do not throw cereal bowls. There was milk everywhere. And so I realized I was pretty upset. So I took her off the high chair. I handed her a paper towel and I was like, okay, clean it up. And she looked at me and she took off running. Fortunately, a house has the 4 corners. So what she didn't realize is that at some point she's going to hit a corner. I followed her and I brought her back and she took off again. I'm at home with her and this is my job, just to do this. So I bring her back. And by the way, she's a Taurus, if that means anything to you. Very, very persistent. I bring her back. I put the paper towel on her hand. I put my hand on her hand and I proceed to help her to wipe. We go through that. I think it took minimum 20 minutes from beginning to end. I see some milk on the wall. Made her clean the milk on the wall. That's what it looked like in my house. And it wasn't all fine and dandy because then she walked into the kitchen and she looked over at me with that look because she was upset. We had like a water cooler and she knew she wasn't supposed to play with the water cooler. But as she's looking at me, she presses on the lever of the water cooler and the water comes flowing out all over the floor. What happened next? Another 20 minutes of chasing around the house until she hit a corner and I brought her back. I put her hand on the paper towel. I put my hand on her hand and we cleaned it up. The bottom line was, I'm so grateful for those 40 minutes. I'm so grateful for the skills to deal with those 40 minutes because I was raised with physical discipline. I vowed not to use physical discipline to raise my daughter. I'm so grateful that Riva Simon taught me back to basics because I was calm because I knew what to do, because I had skills. And so I used the skills that I was taught and I used my empathy and my understanding of my daughter and her feelings and her personality. What I love is that she was 2 and it took some work. It took 40 minutes to teach her this very important lesson that I get her feelings. But in our family, we don't express our anger that way. We get to say, I'm angry, I don't like this, but we don't get to throw cereal bowls. And the last story I'm going to say is I put her into preschool. And one day I picked her up from the preschool because I went back to work full time. Her preschool teacher said to me, you know, it's so interesting. Your daughter, I've never seen this behavior before. And I was like, oh shoot, what did she do today? And he said, you know, normally when we tell kids, pick up your toys, they cry and refuse to pick them up or they pick them up without crying. But your daughter does something very different. I've never seen it before. Your daughter will pick up toys and put them away while she's crying. And I was like, oh, yeah. No, that makes sense to me. It's because I taught her, you have a right to your feelings and your thoughts, Paulina, but you have to follow the rules. And so anyway, that's my story. That's how I applied back to basics to my personal life and also to my professional life. Thank you.